How to lose weight in 2020. Eat less. Sounds good to me. Hey, what is going on, guys? Hey, welcome to the video. My name is Dane. Let's get into it. So, if you saw my last video, I talked about some New Year's resolutions, and basically throughout this year I'm going to be doing some month-long experiments with myself as it relates to personal development, health, fitness, or just general well-being. And so the first one that I decided to do for January is to do a ketogenic diet for the entire month. I decided to do it for the whole month because I see a lot of people do it for only about a week or so. And then from my research, it seems like it takes about a week to get into ketosis anyway. So I want to get into ketosis, and then, which is basically, if you're unaware of it, you should Google it because it's pretty interesting. But it's basically using fat for energy as opposed to carbohydrates. But I want to spend an entire month in ketosis using the fat for energy just to see how it feels, because there's a lot of supposed benefits aside from actually burning body fat. Apparently there's a whole lot of cognitive benefits. You become actually smarter. You have an increase in BDNF, which is I've discussed in previous videos as miracle grow for your brain, more or less. And then there's also a lot of clarity benefits proposed. I don't know. That's why I want to try it. So for this month, I'm going to be eating keto. But now you're asking, what does fasting have to do with ketosis? That's a great question. So I found that while I was researching the keto diet, one of the fastest ways to get your body into ketosis and burning fat for fuel is to basically not eat. So if you don't have food coming in, specifically if you don't have carbohydrates coming in, your body is relegated to burning fats because it doesn't have any choice. If you don't eat anything, it switches to burning the body fat that you already have stored because you don't have other fats coming in. So my goal is to spend the next 3 or so days not eating anything. That way my body starts to burn some of the body fat and become used to burning fat as a fuel source, and then that way when I give it more fat from food, it is more adept at burning that fat as opposed to expecting carbohydrates for energy. So I started fasting on last night around 7 p.m. after I ate dinner, and it is now 8:45 the next morning, so I'm already 13 hours into the fast, and I'm expecting to go roughly 72 hours. I'm not sure if I want to go 72 or 60 something. It's either going to be I'm eating lunch and dinner on Sunday or just dinner, but I'll keep you guys updated. I'm going to do a little bit more research on the most effective time window. It seems like the amount of benefits maximize at about 48 hours and then slowly taper off to when you get to about 72 hours, and then after 72 you see diminishing returns. So going farther than 72 really doesn't make any sense, but I'm trying to figure out what the best time is between 48 and 72 hours. But basically it's just going to come down to whether or not I eat lunch on Sunday. But anyway, I will see you guys again a little bit later just to update you on how I'm feeling and what I'm doing more or less to pass the time. So see you guys then. So I'm here at my gym. I'm just gonna do some walking because when you're doing a fast, specifically a longer fast, this doesn't really pertain to intermittent fasting, but when you're doing a longer fast, it's not recommended to do heavy intense workouts, so no intense cardio, no high interval, no HIIT training, no heavy weightlifting, just because your body doesn't have the energy to do that, and basically you're not going to recover very well afterward. So you want to do some really, really low intensity exercise. So I'm just going to go and walk on the treadmill for a while. My gym has this cool cardio cinema, and where basically they just show a movie and they have a bunch of like treadmills and bikes and whatever inside. And so I'm just gonna go and watch a movie and walk. So I will see you guys later. So my second family invited me over for dinner while I'm doing this fast, and say hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi. Hello.
So I'll show you what my dinner is, and they were nice enough to set out some silverware. So I got some green tea, some water, and
Fork and knife.
fork and knife. Yes. So
You'd eat the butter, right?
yeah. So bon appetit. All right, it is 9:30 p.m. on the first day of fasting. That means I am 26 hours into this fast. And I'll tell you what, I'm honestly, surprisingly not that hungry. I thought I was going to be absolutely destroyed by now and just go to bed hating life. But honestly, I feel all right. Like, I'm hungry, I guess, but it's nothing that's, I feel like it's probably like 11:30 on a weekday where I'm like, it's close to lunchtime. Like, that's the kind of feeling that I have. And I'm honestly kind of surprised by that. I thought I would be absolutely devastatingly hungry and go to bed upset, but here we are. I'm gonna go to bed and sleep like a baby, I hope. Hopefully tomorrow is just like today, because honestly, it wasn't too bad. So, yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Alright, it is 9:30 on the second full day of fasting. It is 38 hours into the fast. And once again, I'm kind of surprised that I'm not feeling terrible. I feel pretty alright. Otherwise, I get these hunger pangs from time to time, but you know, they go away. Yeah, I'm just gonna have a black coffee because that doesn't break a fast and it has some benefits while you're on the fast. So I'm gonna have that, and then I'm gonna go for another walk. And really, aside from the pleasure of eating, I don't miss it that much. You know, I'm surprisingly not too hungry, and I thought it was gonna be harder to not eat for a few days. I'm not gonna lie, it's easier than I expected it to be. Now, I think tomorrow I'm gonna break the fast around lunchtime, probably around noon, with just a small lean protein to break myself out of the fast, because if you eat a big meal afterward, it can cause some digestion problems, you know, like stomach cramps and overall bad times. So I'm going to break it with just probably a small 4-ounce piece of chicken, like boiled chicken. Super boring, and I'm really looking forward to like something more tasty, but that's what I'm gonna go with. And then Sunday dinner, I'm gonna have a real meal, and hopefully then I will be well on my way to being in ketosis. So for now, I'm just gonna drink my coffee and then go for a nice long walk. All right, so I'm 42 hours in. It's a little after 1 p.m. on the second full day of fasting. And I'm not too hungry still, which is still surprising me. But after my long walk this morning, I am feeling very tired. Like, just very lethargic. And almost like no matter what happens, I'll probably not get excited for it. Like, that kind of feeling. Like, I'm between taking a nap and just like loafing around the rest of the day, which is, it's luckily Saturday, so I can actually do that if I want. I am kind of hungry, hungrier than earlier, but I think it may just be like my body's ready for lunch because it's around lunchtime when I usually eat. But yeah, it's a weird feeling being like this tired, where like just going upstairs is kind of draining. I think I may have overdone it with the walking this morning. I think I may have done too much exercise, because typically exercising, training makes me, if it makes me tired, if I relax for an hour or two afterward, I'm back to like a baseline or I even feel more energized. But this time it's an hour or two later and I'm still absolutely just drained. So yeah. All right, so I'm out on a walk, my second walk of the day. It's I don't even know what time it is, to be honest. Anyway, it's sunset, and honestly, this is one of the most spectacular sunsets I've ever seen. So quite nice. Not a bad time to go out walking. Oh, beautiful. It's the small things, really. Hey guys. So it is currently 7:15 on the first day of fasting, and that means I am just over 48 hours in. And I hate to say it, but I'm kind of feeling pretty bad. So I think I'm just gonna end the fast here. 48-hour fasts still have a large amount of benefits, and hopefully have pushed me toward ketosis a bit faster, as was my goal. And I'm gonna stop because I'm a big proponent of listening to your body and trying to figure out what your body needs by how it feels. So if your body needs something, it will tell you. You just have to listen. And so following that, I'm feeling pretty bad. Like you know that feeling when you are like, you kind of feel off and then the next day you come down with a cold? I kind of have that like pre-cold feeling, and the whole fasting was uncomfortable, but I don't think that's a bad thing. But the way I feel now is it's a little bit past uncomfortable. So I'm gonna be breaking my fast here at the 48-hour mark, and I recommend that is something to keep in mind for any physical goal. Definitely set ambitious goals, but if your body is telling you that you shouldn't do something, definitely listen to it. Hey guys, I just want to clarify something. There's a big difference between being uncomfortable and being in pain or feeling sick. I encourage you guys to push yourself and challenge yourself into the uncomfortable, because I believe that the start of progress in any domain is to get comfortable being uncomfortable. However, if you find that what you're doing is painful or making you feel sick, then I suggest that you reevaluate and try something different, because there is a difference between challenging yourself and doing something to the extent that is actually harmful. And in this scenario, I felt pretty sick, like actually sick, and not just feeling uncomfortable or hungry. So that is why I chose to end the fast here. I'm going to be breaking my fast with a warm glass of bone broth, which is still like 40 calories, so it's not much, but it has a lot of salt and minerals, as well as collagen proteins that'll help the digestive lining, and it's fairly easy to digest. So as to not shock the system, it's good to exit with something like bone broth. So I'm going to drink this tonight. I might have another small amount of food before bed. And then tomorrow I'm just going to eat as normal. So I'll update you guys on that. But for now, I'll say goodnight and listen to your body, folks. I'm back. It's the day after breaking my fast. So I ate kind of a plain old breakfast this morning. Ate a more regular lunch. I guess still I'm eating keto now, so still high fat, low carb. But it's about 3:30 and I feel so much better than I did yesterday. I'll tell you what, yesterday I just felt sick. I felt cold, clammy, yet my body was sweating. And it was definitely in some sort of survival mode for sure. So I think that's part of what's supposed to happen during fasting, but I don't think it's supposed to get to that extent. So I'm glad that I got something in my body and seemed to solve those problems. So I am probably a decent way into ketosis now. I don't have the test strips yet. I plan to get them, but they haven't come in yet. So I don't know for sure, but I'm feeling much better, and I would be surprised if I still had a lot of glycogen in my body since I have been walking a lot for the past couple days, and I haven't had a lot of carbs since like 6 days ago, five or 6 days ago. So I'd have a fair assumption that I'm at least in a low state of ketosis at this point. No big symptoms of the keto flu yet, so that is a good thing, but that is something I'll talk about in the keto video at the end of the month, so stay tuned for that. As far as the fast goes, it was an interesting experience. I was far less hungry than I thought I would be, if I'm being honest. Typically, on my normal diet, where I eat high protein, medium carb, medium fat, that's like my typical diet, just a generic whole foods based diet. I typically eat every 4 to 5 hours, and so after a while, my body just got used to eating at those times. So typically, if I would miss one of those meals, my body would be expecting that food, and it would be really, really hungry. But during the fast, I was very, very surprised to find that those hunger pangs, once it was like past that time frame that I usually ate that meal, it really went away. So around lunchtime, I would get really hungry, but then like maybe an hour later, I'd noticed that I wasn't hungry at all, really. So I was very shocked to see that was the case. Another interesting thing is I noticed when I wasn't eating, I was very cognitively on it. Like I was sharp. I was very able to think things through logically. But I think I sacrificed a little bit of that for some personability. So like dealing with people, I may have been a bit lacking as far as emotional content goes, but at least solving problems and thinking things through logically, it was real good. So if you ever need to ace a math test, fasting might help. But if you're trying to go on a date, probably eat food, I'd imagine. One thing is, though, if you are trying to lose weight, I would not recommend fasting because even though you are restricting your calories to a significant margin, I don't think it's sustainable, and I don't think it's a good way to lose body fat, because a lot of people will start a fast and realize wow, I dropped 5 pounds on this fast. And really what they don't realize is that since they used all their glycogen in their muscles and their blood glucose is low, most of the weight that they lose is water. So when they start eating food again, they start to get that water weight back up to a healthy level of hydration, and they gain it all back, and then they hate themselves for gaining it all back, but in reality, they're just being healthy. So I would not recommend long-term fast for losing weight. I would recommend intermittent fasting for losing weight, and that's because that is mostly a driver for calorie restriction. If you reduce the amount of time in which you're eating, generally without noticing it, subconsciously, you're going to reduce the amount of calories that you may eat. It doesn't always work if you're like, oh, I only ate 2 meals, so I could just go crazy for those 2 meals. That might not work. But definitely check it out if you're interested. If you're trying to lose weight, check out intermittent fasting, but I wouldn't recommend a longer term fast like I did for weight loss. If you're interested, there's a whole lot of other benefits to fasting for longer durations that I didn't go into in this video. If you're interested in it, leave a comment below and I will make a video about just like a more informative video as opposed to watching me do silly things. But until then, I will see you guys in the next one. Stay happy, stay healthy. Peace, guys.